Welcome to the Altlines podcast. This is a new podcast for Northeast Ohio mountain biking. I'm Brett Wilms.
And I am Mike Farley. Brett, this is a big moment for us. We've been talking about doing this for a while. I'm excited. I always thought it would be great to have a podcast where I could get plugged into what's going on with mountain biking in Northeast Ohio and also learn about what else is going on, kind of the history of mountain biking. So that was kind of my thinking around why this was really cool. I think it'd be great for our community. And there's a lot going on in Northeast Ohio with mountain biking that people don't know about. I certainly don't know about, and I've been doing this for a long time. So I'm excited.
Yep,
Brett,
I am too.
Let me ask you, how did you get into this sport?
Well, I actually probably have something exciting to share for you, Mike. Some things that you might not have ever heard or known, because I know we've ridden together for a while.
We have.
But I started mountain biking in 2004, so this is officially I've been it'll be 21 years this year of mountain biking in Northeast Ohio specifically and elsewhere.
Nice.
But I started mountain biking because I recognized that I was becoming sedentary. I bought a bike when I was 24, and Mike, I actually have a photo of the first time I went mountain biking. Can you imagine that?
Well, you definitely take a lot of photos, so I would say if anyone's going to have that photo, it would be you, but I'm still impressed because that was a while ago.
I'm going to share a picture so
Let's
you
see
can
this. Let's see this.
Okay, so this is a picture of my bike on the back of my car going to West Branch State Park for the first time.
With the seat removed.
With the seat removed. Total rookie move. But I went there with a friend who had been there before. He's like, yeah, you should go ride at West Branch. I was like, okay, I'll go ride at West Branch. And this is the photo after. So if you notice,
that looks about right.
And you know what we did? We rode nothing but the snowmobile trails at West Branch State Park.
Oh my!
So we didn't get any single track in, but enough being out there in the woods on my bike got me hooked.
Wow!
I've learned a lot since this photo, but I do also have a couple other photos. What got me going from here? I said, well, let me get more involved, and so I watched to see that the IMBA crew was coming. And I don't know, you might recognize one of these guys over here.
Maybe that one.
But this started my initiation into the community of mountain biking in Northeast Ohio. Just looking up information, who is CAMBA, what is IMBA, and what are they doing in the community. Trail days at West Branch. And so this is a couple photos. Oh, there he is. There's Mr. Mike Farley. This is probably the first day that we met, Mike. Probably the first day that we ever met.
Well documented.
Working on the trail, doing something. I honestly don't know where we are at this point.
I know exactly where that is. But
you know exactly where
that
is.
Yep.
But just some photos of what you would find from trail days, armoring sections, working on other things. Hey, here's my first picture with my bike, right? This is the first picture of the bike in the woods. Just a couple months later, this is October. And that's kind of my origin story, Mike, is just needed something to get me out. And I've just been out in the woods on my bike ever since. So that's my origin story.
That is news to me. I have not heard that story before. So we have known each other for a while and done a lot of riding and told each other a lot of stories, and I haven't heard that one. So that was a good surprise. I love it. And,
yeah. How about you, Mike? What got you going on the sport?
You know, it wasn't nearly as, I don't have it photo documented, so it's not really that exciting. I started from college. The first kind of thing I bought for myself out of college was a road bike, and so that was 97, and I road bike a bunch, and then saw some trails nearby, which I won't disclose where they are, and I was like, wow, that looks kind of fun. And just kind of on a whim, got a bike. It wasn't anything fancy, and started riding a little bit. And then that was fun. But then I went to Vulture's Knob, and I started riding Vulture's Knob. And then I found myself at Vulture's Knob all the time. And it kind of started from there. So I would say Vulture's Knob was my my entryway. And yeah, and then from there, it's just been a ton of mountain biking for a long time now.
Yeah, so that was probably from the photo I shared of when you were at the IMBA Trail Day. That was probably 6 years in at mountain biking for you, right? So,
Something like that. Yeah.
right. So you
Yeah.
had
I started
experience.
it. I started in 2000, I think, or
Okay, so
2001.
4 years.
2000. Yeah.
And you were already wanting to get involved, already participating in the local trail organization and getting things moving. So it was really cool that that was all set up for when I was interested in coming into
Yeah.
the community. So yeah.
Nice.
Mike, so what I heard between our stories was really a love for mountain biking and the need for a community around mountain biking, and that's really what this podcast is here for. Is it's another way of bringing community together, sharing information, learning about mountain biking, and celebrate mountain biking in Northeast Ohio. So that kind of leads me to talking more about this podcast, right? So what is the Alt Lines podcast? What can people expect from us? So first of all, we're just doing regular short episodes, something that you can easily listen to. We're going to try to drop them on a monthly basis, but we're really going to focus on the local mountain biking scene. And we have plans for regular segments that are going to include information about coverage of races that are coming up and the results of those, other upcoming mountain bike events, trail building updates, what's being built, what needs work, maybe any special releases of new mountain bike trails. That's what we would love to talk about. You and I are both dads. We love seeing the youth in the mountain bike scene, and we're going to talk about youth mountain biking. We're going to talk about our local NICA chapters, and there are some things that we're not going to talk about here too, and that's
I
we're
know.
not here to talk about.
This part bums me out, Brett. This
I
part
know.
bums me out.
And maybe you'll learn from Mike and I that we are divergent in this. I'm very happy not to talk about gear, but Mike loves talking about gear. But we're not going to talk about gear in this podcast. There's plenty of
It's
other
covered
places.
elsewhere. Plenty of other places.
So it might sleep in somewhere, but we're not going to focus on it. So those are just some things you can expect from this podcast.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And I think in addition to that, one of the things that I would love to do is kind of touch on some of the history of mountain biking. People who are new to the sport may not realize it, but there actually is quite a bit of history. Some trails that don't exist anymore, some stories we can tell, racing programs that kind of came and went, that type of thing. There's a lot there. And the other thing that we really want to make sure we're always touching on is Raise. For Brett, you and I know Raise is a big part of our, let's call it, I wouldn't even call it off season anymore because it's really just Raise season. But we
right.
have, as you said, we have families, we have kids, and they all love Raise. And Raise is just an incredible thing that we've got here. So lucky to have in Northeast Ohio. Such a great community there. Our sons, in particular, spend many days a week there, and it's a big part. And I think we're so lucky to have it. And I just want to make sure we make it a regular part of this because it is a huge part of riding in Northeast Ohio if you're a mountain biker. So yeah,
Exactly.
that's Alt Lines. It's the podcast about Northeast Ohio mountain biking, and we hope you enjoy it.
Our guest today is Brian Bilinovich, the head coach of the North Coast Gnarwhals, our local area NICA team. And Mike and I, just full disclosure, Mike and I are both coaches on that team and have been involved for 2 or 3 years. Brian's going to share a lot of great information about the Gnarwhals, the story about how he joined. All the details about the team can be found at their website. That's narwhals.org. I'm going to try to spell it correctly. GNARWHALS.org. If you want to experience a NICA race firsthand and understand what it's all about, we are so excited that the first race in Northeast Ohio is coming right at us in West Creek Reservation in Parma. The weekend of the 23rd and 24th of August. The race will be on August 24th. So come, plan, put it on your calendar, come check it out. But for now, let's check out that conversation with Brian.
We brought on the coach of Ohio's newest NICA chapter, which happens to be based right here in Medina. And that person is Brian Bilinovich. Brian, welcome. Thanks for joining
Brian.
today. We're excited to have you.
Thanks, guys. It's an honor to be a part of it.
Brian, tell us about NICA. First, tell us what it is at the high level, and then we'll get into some other things after that.
Yeah, so NICA started in 2009 in California, and Ohio's been part of NICA since maybe 2020. So it's still pretty new for us. It's a biking organization for fifth graders to 12th graders. Can be tied to high schools locally, similar to basketball teams, football teams, volleyball teams.
Is it always tied to a specific school or more like a regional thing?
So it kind of depends on the size of teams. Some teams have up to 200 to 400 kids.
Wow. Wow.
So
That's
they
impressive.
bisect or they sector it even further down to specific schools. Since our teams are much smaller in Ohio, right now they're moving towards a kind of a county-based team. For us, our team is really spread out, so it's a little bit harder. But in Columbus, they've split up teams based on what county and kind of school district that they're in.
Got it. So it's kind of regional in Ohio right now.
Yes, yeah,
And it's mountain bike specific.
yes. Bikes specific now,
And I
if that
see on
makes
your
sense.
jersey that there's this thing called the North Coast Gnarwhals. So is that the local, not chapter, but local club, right?
So North Coast Gnarwhals is the team I started here in Medina. Right now, we are the only Northern Ohio mountain bike team.
When did that team start?
We started in 2022.
Hmm.
The rest of the teams within Ohio's NICA League are all Southern Ohio. There are teams in Columbus, one in Cincinnati. I think there's a Dayton team, and then all the way on the east side to Tuscaloosa as well.
You started this before you even had kids, right? And you got into this before you even had kids. So tell us about that. Tell us how that came about.
Yeah, I started coaching when I still lived in Columbus. So I lived in Columbus for about 7 years. My wife went to the same CrossFit gym as another mom on a team in Columbus. They were looking for coaches, and she found out that I mountain biked. And she's like, "Oh, would Brian ever be interested in coaching? You know, coaching with our team?" I quickly said yes. But yeah, coached on one of the teams in Columbus, and then we ended up moving back up to Medina a year later. There were no teams up here, but I wanted to change that. I enjoyed it so much down there, and I saw the benefits of um, riding together with friends and incorporating mountain biking into different lifestyles and things like that, that I think it'd be beneficial to have a team up here too.
It's really cool that you did it that way. I'm amazed because from my own personal perspective, I can't imagine doing it pre-kids. I can definitely imagine it doing now, and I am involved now, and so is Brett. But before kids, that's really cool. So
Yeah,
thank you for doing that. I mean,
I
honestly, like
appreciate.
you've done a great service for mountain biking in Northeast Ohio through this. So it's really cool.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Katie was pregnant throughout the first year, and she was coaching
Oh,
while
wow.
she was pregnant.
Brian, you had mentioned in your first year and then coming out of Columbus and then going into Northeast Ohio and recognizing there wasn't a team and then interest in doing that. What was the propulsion to make you do that? Tell me a bit about the successes or specific situations you had that were just like fulfilling that NICA team brought you and made you want to do it up here.
So I guess to give you a little backstory on my position with the other team, it's called Lost in the Woods. They're one of the largest teams in Columbus. They needed coaches who were fast, who could keep up with the fast kids.
Uh-huh.
And as soon as the head coach James realized that I could keep up with them, he's like, "Oh, you're going with them? Yeah, go ride with them." So I got to see the progression in a different way than the young kids. Down there, it was more fitness level. How fast can we go on these trails to get on podium and things like that? But watching the kids' progression in that way just really kind of inspired me. And every practice, they were just pushing and getting better and better. And the one kid that sticks out that was from that team, his name's Nate Beaver. And a couple days ago, he just won national champion
Wow.
road racing 13 through
Oh,
14.
wow.
Yeah, and
Do
he
you think you
was
can keep up with them anymore?
absolutely not. But just watching their progression as the season went on was so amazing to me. I really just wanted to replicate that up here in Medina.
Awesome. Yeah, we're very thankful for that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, what does a typical practice look like? How often are they? Where do you do it? Tell us a little bit about that.
Sure. We practice twice a week, Mondays and Thursdays. We'll split up into our ride groups. And in the beginning of the season, we tend to work on different sorts of skills. So if it's, working on braking or bike and body position, shifting, really the basics of biking, we try to start out with practices like that. And then after that, we'll hit the trails, keeping everything fun, but still learning.
Tell me about racing. How does that work?
So racing starts usually first or second weekend in August and will run until the first weekend in October. So it's every other weekend, and a typical race weekend is Saturdays are what's called the pre-ride. Race day are Sundays, and all the races are broken up based on age and skill level. So, so
But
it
it's a
starts
mass
at age.
start, right? I mean,
Correct.
it's the real experience of a mountain bike race because it is a mass start.
Correct. So at the beginning of the season, we do time trials. The very first race is a time trial. Once you're done with the time trial, they go on to the mass start and the other races.
Brian, quick question.
Sure.
So, what if I was a parent and I don't know anything about mountain biking, and it looks like my kid might, maybe they're not interested in other sports, and it seems like this might be a really interesting opportunity for them. The racing might sound intimidating, right? Or they don't have a bike. How do the narwhals account for that? And
So let's go all the way to they want to be part of the team, but they have no equipment. They're just interested in riding. So this year, we're fortunate enough through our sponsors, we were able to gather enough funds where now we can have loaner equipment. So we have, so an athlete can come up to us and be, hey, I want to join the team. I have nothing, and we can be, sure, sign up. We got you
awesome.
a bike. We got you a bike. We got you a helmet. Even water bottles now. I have a whole box of tubes. If they need tubes, anything that they need, we'll source. We're really fortunate through all our sponsors that we're able to get enough money to have all that equipment so parents don't have to worry about it. Um, I really try and encourage parents to, you know, if they're very nervous, come out, take a look at the race, see what it's like, because it is a lot of fun. People get a little intimidated when they hear the words race,
Yep.
and it's, is this going to be highly competitive? Are people going to be pushing each other? The whole gamut. But it really isn't that way, especially with the younger crew, the younger guys and girls. It's more fun based. They're not the varsity racers. They're coming out, they're having fun.
And
Having a
in
good
my
time.
experience, I've not seen any of the athletes that have gone to one race not want to do another one. Like,
Yeah.
and
And
it's
that's
a
what's making me feel good.
yeah, agreed. Like when I just see the camaraderie or them coming off and they're sweaty and tired and they go, okay, I got to do better next time. That's what it's all there for. And you see it and
Yeah.
you're like, yes, this is great.
One of the things I think is cool, and maybe you can talk about this, is there's no tryouts. There's no like
Mm.
anybody gets to race. So explain how that works because it's a pretty unique and cool approach for that.
Yeah, so we're different from a lot of other school sports. So, like you said, we have no tryouts, we have no benches. If you join the team and you want to race, you're racing. It's truly from any skill level, um, all the way
And everyone
from
lines up on the start line together.
correct.
So, and what's interesting to me is that's a wide range of abilities on that start line. You've got fast kids and you've got kids that aren't as fast. How does that work?
Athletes are lined up based on their finishing times or based on the time trial. And as they're racing on the race course, there are certain cutoff times. So athletes aren't out there forever. Let's say you have a really green athlete. They've really not been on a race course or, are super green. Say the race course is 2 laps. If they don't finish their first lap within a certain time, there's a cutoff and then we'll pull them off the course. They still get to finish through the finishing, the finish line at the end, it's still very exciting for them. It's really not looked down upon to not make the cutoffs. Um,
I find it's a step level, right? So it's
Exactly.
so exciting because you see
Yes.
these athletes that they're like, are they going to make the cutoff? They made the cutoff. Go, 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 right? It's very exciting.
Exactly.
So
right. In my opinion, it's another goalpost.
one thing I just wanted to add in my experience with the races and being a part of it, and you were mentioning the weekend element of it. Um, there is so much volunteer effort. Like you talk about people getting kids on the course, taking them off, setting up the course. Everything is a volunteer effort, and it's such a community. If you haven't seen it, you don't know this thing is out there, and it's just really incredible to see everybody come together to work together to make it happen.
Yeah, and on race day, I should say on Saturday and Sunday, there's probably 20 plus volunteers just to make it happen. The actual league itself probably have 10 volunteers, including myself, as if I have all this free
Didn't
time.
have anything else to do.
I might as well volunteer for more things. So I also volunteer part of the league to help set up the course. We have roving marshals. So we'll have adults out on course on their bikes constantly doing the race. So they can kind of keep an eye on athletes, way off. So everyone is safe. There are marshal points. So maybe 4 to 5 people on course that are stationary. So if an athlete wrecks, has a mechanical, they can go up to that marshal. That marshal can help out. So it really is, we're looking for success here.
I think from my experience, I haven't raced much. I've raced a little bit. Just witnessing the level of organization of these NICA races really blew me away. Everything from the amount of volunteers, the course marshals placed all over the place, it really has the feel of it. It doesn't feel thrown together. It feels like somebody really put some real work into this thing. And it's so cool. It's a cool event. You show up and you're at a mountain bike racing event. There's no question about it. So, Brian, how do parents learn more? We're recording this in early July. The season has already started here for the Narwhals. Is it too late for a parent to get involved this season?
Absolutely not. They can join the team at any point throughout the year.
Oh,
Um,
okay, cool.
so, we start typically, depending on how the calendar lays out, like end of May, and then we go all the way to October. So we can be in the middle of race season, like August, September, and you can still do it.
I think part of it for my kids is, they ride with us and maybe another family friends, but to be able to expand that community of biking around them, even just to go to practice and ride with other kids, and they go, oh yeah, this is great. They're all riding together as kids. It's special and it's unique. And I can understand if somebody's not in the sport, they don't really get it. Once they show up, it lights a light bulb.
Right.
So, Brian, tell us a little bit more about the coaching. You mentioned that there's a few of them. How many of them are there? How does that work? Is there training involved in becoming a coach?
All of our coaches have to go through online classes where they're tested. So they don't just sign up and come out. And all of our coaches are background checked as well. We are 100% serious when it comes to safety. And the coaches have different levels of coaching. So a level 1 coach is they typically assist any higher up coaches, and they're the sweeps of the group. And then once you get to level 2, they're kind of the ride group leaders. And then once you get to level 3, that's when you're leading entire groups as far as overseeing everything, making practice plans, things like that.
Well, thanks for coming today again, Brian. Really appreciate your time and really appreciate your dedication to the team and to mountain biking in Northeast Ohio. That's what it's all about. So thanks for your time today.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah.
Thank you guys.
Yeah.
I'll be back anytime.
A regular segment on our podcast is to talk about the events, including racing and other types of events that are happening in Northeast Ohio mountain biking. So today we're going to cover a couple of things related to NICA, NOMS, OMBC, CAMBA, Raise, a bunch of different stuff that's coming up. So, Mike, what do you got on your calendar side?
Yeah. First, we've got for NICA, we've got the Mastodon Mayhem, which is the West Creek race. So this is their first stop, or I should say the first time NICA comes to Northeast Ohio, which is awesome. West Creek Reservation, August 24th. So yeah, if you're interested in checking that out and see for yourself what a NICA race looks like, cheer on the racers. That would be great. Again, August 24th. And we'll put links to all these in the show notes. Next thing I'm looking at here is we've got the Northern Ohio Mountain Bike Series, better known as NOMS. They've got several things coming up. They've got Hampton Hills on August 3rd. They've got Lake Milton on August 17th. And then Battle of Toledo on August 31st. More info on that one, Northern Ohio Mountain Bike Series.com. Again, we'll put a link to that in the show notes. Then we've got OMBC, which OMBC is celebrating their 25th year, which is pretty cool because I feel like I was there in the first, I don't know, couple of years or something like that. They've got Dillon Rocks. So that's at Dillon State Park, August 10th. They've got Race to the Hills. That's at Lake Hope State Park, September 7th. More info on those races is at ombc.net. Again, links in the show notes. All right, so that's what I'm seeing on the calendar. Brett, what are you seeing on the calendar?
Yeah, Mike. So the Cleveland Metro Parks has a one-off race at Bedford Single Track. That one's scheduled for September 6th at the Bedford Mountain Bike Trails. All that information can be found on the Cleveland Metro Parks website in their kind of event registration form. We'll provide the specific link to how to register for that as well. CAMBA, our Cleveland-area Mountain Bike Association, has more group rides than we can talk about. So if you're just looking for ways to get out and meet new people, have a regular ride, man, check out camba.us. Look at their ride schedule. They rotate different trail areas, so you can always find something new to join in on, whether regularly or one-off. I always have a good time on those rides. Also, from CAMBA, they typically do a fall camp out. We don't have the dates yet on that or the location. We're going to keep our eye on that website, and we'll share that in a future episode. Mike, I know that you're probably enjoying the anticipation of preparing for Rays season as much as I am. It's weird to do that in the summer, but it's a weird thing in Cleveland where you're like, I'm looking forward to the winter to ride Rays.
That's right.
But they're continuing to share weekly videos of their progress at Rays. Major changes happening in the Moon Room. I think they're calling it Space Mountain. The amount of work and effort and just creativity that's going into that place is it's always exciting. It's always exciting. So if you haven't followed them on YouTube, follow them, check that stuff out. Their summer hours are on Sundays from 2 to 8 p.m. So you can go in and enjoy that stuff as it's being built, basically, right?
Yeah,
so,
absolutely.
Yeah. So that's kind of a recap of the events that's coming up. So get out there and support your local scene, whether it's racing, events, or just kind of seeing things from the sidelines and cheering those folks on.
All right, Brett, I thought we would conclude these episodes when it's the riding season to talk a little bit about where we've been riding.
When isn't it the riding season, Mike? It's always the riding season.
That's true. We do have Rays. Rays may not be that exciting to recap on a monthly basis.
You might be surprised. I'll share my wins.
There you go. You got that new skinny.
That's right.
Anyway, so Brett, you were at Bike Bash, West Virginia recently.
I was.
Correct?
I was.
Yeah.
Yes.
So where is that? And tell us, what's that event all about?
Yeah, so Bike Bash in West Virginia. My wife and two boys, we all went together for a full weekend of riding and fun. So it's outside of Morgantown. I think the closest city is called Brewston Mills, but it's a very unique situation. It's up on a hill from these camplands that are there, and it's a airstrip venue where there's camping alongside both sides of that airstrip. People show up in tents, they show up in RVs and everything in between. And actually, as a side note, if you're a camping gear nerd, oh my gosh, everything you want to see is there. But you camp for the weekend,
and there's an expo. So you've got demos, you've got vendors, you've got organizations locally. They've got a stage there, so there's bands that are 2 nights in a row. They've got food and coffee brought vendors there. And that's not, I haven't even talked about the mountain biking, right? So we've been going there for 4 years just because it's a great party. It's a great fun. And like I said, I bring my kids. It's a family friendly event. You can find your herd there, so to speak. So did that for the weekend. This weekend was particularly wet. But that's the joy of West Virginia, because I think in West Virginia, if you wait for things to dry, you're never going to ride.
For sure. It's kind of a rainforest.
Yeah. So the trails there, specifically at those camplands, are something that Mike and I really enjoy riding, which is just rocky, technical, just chunky stuff. But if I was going to suggest going, I would say you should go. If you ride a mountain bike, you should go check it out. That said, I just talked about how technical riding it was, and not everybody loves that kind of stuff. But I was talking, one of the things I love about Bike Bash is I always talk to my neighbor when I'm camping. And I was talking to my neighbors in the camping ground. The tent next to us. So I was talking to my neighbors, and it was a young couple, and this was their first time coming. And they were more, kind of, I guess, more race oriented. The way that they would ride mountain bikes, a little more standard, traditional single track. Not that this isn't. This is just a little more technical. And so they were like, hey, where would you suggest I try? And so there's different loops at Bike Bash that are a little more cross-country race friendly, I would say. But everything's got rocks and roots around it. It's just the varying levels. So I actually, I was a little concerned for them. I was like, oh no, I hope they don't get in over their heads if they don't want rocks. But man, they came back after riding with a demo and they were all smiles. So it's great community. It's great trails. It's great party. It's everything you'd want in a bike fest. So, put it on your calendar for next year. Do the searchings that you do to find something like that. But we'll talk about it as we approach next year.
Absolutely. All right, Brett. Well, this was the first episode. We've been talking about doing probably about monthly or so episodes. That's the plan, at least. We're doing this for fun, so we're not committing to anything for sure. If it happens more frequently, great. If it happens less frequently, well, that's the way it is. So we have lots of ideas for future episodes. We kind of mentioned it at the top. But yeah, thanks for listening, everybody, and thanks for watching. This was fun, and we're looking forward to the next one. We will see you on the trails.